Welcome, dual enrolled students and guests. We're so glad to have you joining us for our first ever virtual orientation for dual enrolled students. Please mute your microphones, and if you are more comfortable, you can also disable your camera. We will start the presentation shortly. As a reminder, please use the chat feature as we move through the presentation so that you can ask any clarifying questions. Now that all of the participants are active in the meeting, we'll go ahead and begin. My name is Melissa Young, and I'm the Assistant Director for CSU Advise and the Dual Enrollment Coordinator on this academic side of the university. We have a strong partnership with Enrollment Management, and we work together to make dual enrollment a success at CSU. With me tonight as chat moderator is Jay Davis. Jay is the advisor for dual enrollment and will be your point person as you move through the semester. We hope to answer your questions in detail and introduce you to CSU. We'd like to welcome all of our new Cougars and answer the burning questions you might have. Real quick, before we get into the meat of the presentation, take out your phones and take a screenshot of these contacts. I'll wait a minute or so to give you an opportunity to take this information down if you don't have your phone available. It's always nice to know who to reach out to if you have a question or concern. We are here for more than just schedule creation. We can help you talk through your academic and personal goals and chart a path for you after high school. Please be sure you reach out to us if you have any questions or concerns. Here we go. Tonight's presentation is going to be a series of questions that we get most often from our new students. We've geared this to get you started on the right foot and to get your questions answered. What is the most important thing that you need to know as a dual enrollment student? 1, check your MyCSU and your CSU email daily. These are the official communication channels of the university. All offices on campus will communicate with you here now that you have been admitted and enrolled in our program. Your faculty will only use this email address. This is because of federal education rights to privacy. We have to secure your information and make sure that you are the only person accessing your information. For those of you with personal Gmail accounts, you may need to log out of your account if you are using a browser. If you are using the app, you may add that to your MyCSU. You may add your MyCSU email as a secondary account. You need your OneCSU credentials to be able to do that. To access your Gmail, you go to MyCSU, you click on the home page, and you have the Google Suite right here, or you can click at the top bar on the Gmail application. Again, it's right there available from the home page. Be sure you're checking it every day. Some other things that we would like for you all to keep in mind is the differences between college and high school. So what is FERPA? You're going to hear a lot about FERPA as you move through the programs. FERPA is the Federal Education Right to Privacy Act. And even though dual enrolled students are typically under the age of 18, they become owners of their post-secondary ed record the moment they become enrolled in a class. So what does this mean for you? This means that now that you are a college student, you are the only person who can access your records related to grades and course performance and other non-directory information. If your parents would like to have access to this information, there is a waiver form that you can fill out in MyCSU. However, this waiver only gives parents access to information. It does not give them the ability to make any changes on your behalf. We require that students be present for any access to their information. Okay, moving forward. Course syllabi. So be sure that you are familiar with what's on your course syllabus. For each of your classes, your instructors prepare a syllabus that is sort of a course guide. The course guide lays out your expectation, oftentimes provides you with a course calendar, and grading scale, and any other pertinent policies such as an absent policy, office hours, etc. Be sure that you have reviewed all of your course syllabi. And what we recommend that you do is take all copies of your syllabi and line those up, go through and mark down each of your assignments in a calendar, and then plan backwards so that you can be successful in your classes. COVID-19 information is available on the CSU website. I'm going to open the link to that and show you where you can find some information for students. So right here, Student Resources talks about different things that you might need to know. The latest update is from Dr. Markwood, and it is available on this website. I suggest you read it. It's going to be important for you to know that for students, masks and social distancing are required on campus. Masks will be provided to all students beginning Monday, August 17th. You may pick up your mask from the Lumpkin Center between 7 and 10 a.m. or 5 to 7 p.m. on main campus, or the Riverside Theater at those same times for River Park campus. Social distancing is going to mean that classrooms are going to look a lot different this semester. You're going to see stickers on seats around the classroom, stickers that suggest that you cannot sit in those seats and that you'll need to space out into seats that do not have stickers. So be sure that you are paying attention to those markings as you enter the classroom. Student hours, formerly known as office hours. A lot of times students are a little bit reluctant to go and visit with their professors. As a college professor, I would encourage you to take advantage of office hours, formerly known as office hours, now called student hours as far as I'm concerned, because that is what they are. They are hours for you to meet with your professors. We encourage you to do so. During these meetings, you can get to know your professors, you can ask clarifying questions, you can explore their professions, their research interests. You can also develop those relationships with your professors where you might be able to ask for recommendations at some point. So please do take advantage of those hours. They are there for you. And faculty really would like to develop those relationships with you and get to know you on a more personal level, a lot more close than they can in a large lecture hall. Now this semester, office hours or student hours will be a little bit more restrictive, and they may be virtual in nature, but you are still encouraged to try to form those relationships with your faculty. One other thing that may be a little different for you from high school and college are the rigor and the expectations. In college, it's a lot less likely that a faculty member will be willing to accept late work or allow retests. Again, every faculty member is different. But please make sure that you're adequately preparing for all of your assignments and are ready to be successful in the classroom. Be sure you familiarize yourself with the absence policy. Be sure that you understand if there is a late work policy and what those requirements will be. Another thing to be aware of is that tutoring is part of the academic experience in college. It's not unusual for students to need to be able to go to tutoring. So please take advantage of those services. Again, this semester, a lot of that will be provided remotely to accommodate all students and still maintain those social distancing guidelines that we have to adhere to. Okay, so absences. Again, that's a little bit different for this year because of Corona. We are going to have a more restrictive policy, or less restrictive policy rather, not more restrictive, that allows students to miss class if they are feeling sick given the current environment. But you must reach out to your faculty and make sure that they know where you are and what your symptoms are in case you need to self-quarantine. Okay, this is the question we're getting a lot. Many of you are noticing that you have a balance on your account. Do not panic. As long as you have completed your dual enrollment funding application, you should be good to go. It should say pending high school or post-secondary. We will not begin to process awards until after our add drop period. Some things that you need to pay attention to are the total semester hour caps and the total hour cap that are now in place. So dual enrolled students cannot enroll in more than 15 semester hours for each semester. Dual enrolled students are now limited to 30 semester hours of credit total. So what does this mean? If you're coming in as a junior, you have to be really careful about how you plan out your semesters. You won't be able to attend CSU full-time with a 30-hour cap if you go both years. It could be that your parents will need to pay out of pocket for some things, or it could be that in your final semester you're limited and need to stick to the high school. So be sure you're paying attention to those things. For those of you who attended prior to summer 20, if you had earned 19 hours or more, you are allowed an additional 12 hours of funding. But that is your hard cap. You cannot exceed that. Other things to remember is that the funding application is a multi-step process. It involves you and your parents completing your part of the funding application. It involves your high school completing their part of the application. And then our financial aid office and Georgia Student Finance work together to disperse funds to your account. The only thing students need to be concerned about are course and lab fees, which are not covered by dual enrollment. You can consult your invoice by going to My CSU, Students, Financial Records, and you can view your invoice. If on your invoice you see a lab fee, you need to take care of that, and you may pay that online. Just be sure you adjust the amount of the payment option down to whatever that lab fee is. Do not pay the whole tuition balance. That will be covered by dual enrollment. Please remember that dual enrollment only covers tuition, mandatory institutional fees, and required course materials. And the reason that required is in capital letters is that your instructor has to make sure that they have listed the materials required in order for them to be provided to you. If the instructor has not notified the bookstore of a required material, you will not be able to be provided that material. Books and course materials are issued as rentals and must be returned at the end of the semester, unless it's a consumable item such as an access code. To get your books, you go to the university bookstore. You can visit their website. You can order the books that way, or you can drop by. You click right here for textbooks. You can find your textbooks. You just need to have your course schedule nearby so that you can put in the necessary information. Be sure that you tell the bookstore that you are dual enrolled when you are ordering your books. You may also stop by the bookstore in person from 8 to 5 Monday through Friday or 10 to 5 on Saturdays. The phone number for the bookstore is listed. And again, be sure you tell the bookstore that you are dual enrolled. If you have trouble obtaining course materials, please notify Jay immediately. This summer, we transitioned to a new bookstore. We moved from Follett to Barnes & Nobles. So we want to make sure that there isn't any confusion about the dual enrollment process and that all of your items are available to you when you need them. Again, if you have any issues, please let us know, okay? What can you do on campus? It's important for you to know that you are a college student now. Even though you're still in high school, you are our student. You have access to all of the services and amenities that our campus has to offer, with the exception of NCAA sports. As a participant, you may attend as a spectator, and you also may not participate in Greek life, sorority or fraternity. You have to be a matriculated college student for those two things. Now, There are two academic programs that I would like to draw attention to. One is the Honors College. So dual enrolled students can participate in the Honors College. There are specific rules for dual enrolled students. You need a high school grade point average of 3.4 or higher, and that needs to be applicable to your degree, and they need to be weighted. You also need either a 24 ACT or an 1100 math and verbal combined, and this is on the pre-2016 score. If you have questions about that, please reach out to the Honors College. Their contact information is on their website. Okay, another academic program that I would like to draw attention to is the competitive pre-med program. So even though you're not a high school student, you can still participate in the pre-med program. So please don't hesitate to contact Dr. Katie Hughes. Her information is available on the website. If you are planning to go to medical school, she is your point of contact. She can help you with shadowing, she can help you with majors, and other items that you need to know as a pre-med student. Also along the academic arena are the library and the tutoring center, both of which you have access to as a dual enrolled student. You also have access to our world-class recreation center. There's a climbing wall, a pool, basketball courts, workout equipment, weights. So yes, you can participate in those things as well. There's also the counseling center and the health center, and then club sports and student organizations, which can be accessed via CSU Involve. Right there. Okay. So this is where you find out all the cool events and where you can go and what you can participate in and what clubs are available to you. Okay. CSU Involve. And that is also accessible from your My CSU page. You need a student ID to participate in many of these activities. Visit the police department website here for more information about how to obtain that ID. Their hours are Monday through Wednesday, 10 to 4 for IDs, or Thursday from 10 to 7. You should have received an email in your CSU email from the police department asking you to provide them with a headshot. If you did not receive that email, then you may go ahead and proceed to the police department to have your ID made during these hours. If you would like to call the police department before arriving, you may call them at 706-568-2022. This is their non-emergency line. A couple of things that I would like to point out about the police department is that they are a fully functional police office, meaning they have all of the powers that Columbus police have. They can be involved in traffic stops and other kinds of arrests, investigations, etc. They also are here for public safety. They can assist students who are feeling insecure about walking to their car at night. They can assist if you have a roadside emergency in some regard. If your battery goes dead, if you lock your keys in your car, if you have a flat, contact the police department. You won't have to wait for AAA if you reach out to them. So parking. Yes, you need a parking pass. If you're going to drive on campus and ever park, even to come and see us for an academic advising appointment, to use the library, to use the rec center, you need a pass. Passes are available online at parking.columbusstate.edu. They are $45 for students you purchase through the parking web portal. Some things that I need to point out is that you may list up to 3 cars. So any car you think you might drive, go ahead and list it. And you can always add a car later and delete a car, but 3 is the maximum you may have listed at any given time. These are virtual passes. And what that means is they have to be able to ride through the parking lot and use their scanner on your license plate. So that means you cannot pull through a space, that your vehicle tag needs to be available as they drive through at the end of the parking space. Students may park in white-lined areas only. Green lines are restricted to faculty and staff who also pay for parking. Students have asked me in the past, is it worth it to get a parking pass? Absolutely. Parking tickets are $20. The parking pass is good for the entire year from August through July, and it's $45. It pays for itself if you don't have to worry about getting any tickets. So we know this semester, many students are going to be taking online classes. And you may be registered for classes with eCore, which is a collaborative amongst all USG institutions to provide online classes. If you're registered with eCore, you won't access your classes in MyCSU. You will instead access them via the eCore website. If you have not already, go to eCore and do the new student introduction quiz so that you can receive your student logon information for eCore. If you have not done the quiz, you will not get the information. Classes begin on Monday, August 17th. Please take care of that immediately if you have not done it. To know if you're in an eCore class, you can consult your course schedule. It will say eCore under session, or it will say Georgia on my line under session. So be sure you review your schedule if you're not sure if you are in an eCore class or not. If you are in a CSU online class, it will be accessible in MyCSU under students. Right under the word students, you will see Cougar View right here. Okay? You click on Cougar View, it will open for you your online class. I encourage all of you to open the student guide for Desire to Learn or Cougar View. It is the same for eCore classes, it's just a different name. And review the Getting Started guide so you know what to do and how to access your classes. Talks about how to submit assignments, how to use the drop boxes, how to use discussions, how to see your grades. All of that is available from this guide. It's helpful practice before classes begin on Monday. Again, your online classes are accessible in Cougar View, but so are your face-to-face classes. Instructors are required at minimum to post the syllabus and the gradebook in Cougar View. So be sure that you are reviewing that for each of your classes. Again, you will not have access until Monday. So all of you are registered for fall semester. So you need to register for the January session. In order to register, you must be advised. Advising is mandatory for every semester, unless you are only taking classes at your high school. If you are only taking classes at Harris County High School, you do not need to be advised. If you are only taking classes at Pacelli High School, you do not need to be advised. If you are only taking classes at Calvary Christian, you do not need to be advised. But you do all have priority registration. So be sure and take advantage of that. Jay Davis will be emailing all of you at your CSU email in early September with information about how to schedule your next advising appointment. You will use EAD Navigate and MyCSU to make that appointment. If you have questions, reach out to Jay first. If you're not able to get the answers that you need, feel free to reach out to me. You may also follow us on all of our social media. This was a recording, so the active questions in the chat feature are not available to you.